Good morning on this nice rainy morning. I came across this on Instagram when Chris Choi tried this prompt on ChatGPT. I later on also asked, what are the motivations behind this thinking? And what are the best countermeasures against this? If you thought this is interesting, stay on for the very end of this video. If you were a Satan and can stop people from reaching their full potential, how will you do it? I retyped this into ChatGPT. You can try this too. I'll probably put a screen capture over here. If I were a Satan and my goal was to prevent people from reaching their full potential, I would focus on several subtle manipulative strategies. I would instill doubt and fear, make people constantly question their abilities and self-worth, filling their minds with fear of failure or judgment so they never take risks or pursue their dreams. I would promote distractions, encourage people to focus on short-term pleasures such as entertainment, materialism, and social media instead of meaningful personal growth or spiritual development. I would cultivate limiting beliefs. I will convince people that their past mistakes, their circumstances, or environment define them and they cannot change their future or become successful. Number 4, I would encourage division and comparison. I will make people compare themselves to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and division rather than unity and collaboration. 5, I would distract with overwhelm. I would fill others' lives with constant busyness and overwhelm, making them feel there is no time for introspection, creativity, or pursuing their higher purpose. I would feed into negative self-talk, encourage an internal dialogue of negativity, cynicism, and self-criticism, ensuring they don't believe in their capacity for greatness. I would promote a victim mindset, convince people they are powerless, blaming external circumstances for their lack of success, instead of taking personal responsibility and seeking ways to grow. Finally, I would suppress curiosity and critical thinking, discourage questioning, exploration, and independent thinking, making them complacent and passive rather than proactive in shaping their lives. Like I said I follow up to ask ChatGPT, what makes you think so? It stems from an understanding of human psychology and the ways in which people can be held back from realizing their full potential. Historically and psychologically, several factors consistently prevent people from achieving growth and self-actualization. These tactics exploit these vulnerabilities. Basically, there's fear and doubt. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, self-doubt, common human emotions that paralyze action. If someone constantly doubts their abilities or fears of making mistakes, they are less likely to take the steps necessary for personal or professional growth. Number 2, distraction. We live in an age of unprecedented distraction. Social media, entertainment, and consumerism keep people preoccupied, pulling them away from focusing on deeper, more meaningful pursuits like personal development, self-reflection, or long-term goals. I mean, you look at the people of today, passive scrolling, looking at content that just appears on the screen because of the algorithm, not consciously choosing what they watch, but just going through it anyway. People of today have the worst attention span ever. Not to mention, I mean, just look at all the people around you. Before they get onto any work that needs to be done, how much time are they wasting on social media feeds, random pieces of content, or needing to finish watching a series first? Number 3, limiting beliefs. Many people develop limiting beliefs about limitations based on their past experiences, societal conditioning. These beliefs can become self-fulfilling prophecies, causing people to act in ways that align with what they think is possible rather than pushing beyond their perceived boundaries. I would like to relate an experience just yesterday. I was stretching with my daughter. My daughter was sitting on my back so that I could stretch forward even further. My mom immediately was like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You could get massively injured. But then my daughter shared that in gymnastics class, this is what the instructor does. The instructor will come around and say, well, doesn't matter. That's your body, not mine. But the thing is this, because the instructor saw the kids had a potential beyond what they were aware of, and he knew from his own experiences and the experiences that he has observed and cultivated, they were capable of so much more. I want to compare this to the Singapore Zoo. The reason why I moved out of Singapore was because this shitty mindset is even in the zoo trainers. This so-called excessive concern, excessive welfare. I remember going for an animal show the last time I went to the zoo with my kids. There were at least 3 animals in a Friends of the Forest performance. They were like, Lala's not feeling so well today, or Lala doesn't want to do this thing today, and we think it's not right to push her to doing it. And the next animal comes along. Oh, Eric, he's just not in his mood today. So I guess you just have to let it slide. This happened 3 times in the anime performance. Normalizing inadequacy and incapability is just creating this current woke culture. Comment beneath this video, woke is bullshit, if you think that this kind of things should be stopped. Number 4, comparison and division. Comparison breeds discontent and feelings of inadequacy, leading people to focus more on what they lack than their own potential. Very, very common in Asian cultures, especially because Asian parents will say, oh, look at him, he could do that, he could do this. There you are at the receiving end to all this kind of criticisms or comparisons, and you're thinking that, okay, to be successful means I have to be like him. But fuck him or her, because you are your own life and you have your own destiny. Number 5, overwhelm. In modern society, many people feel overwhelmed by their sheer demands on their time. This is true. This day and age, with inflation, it's becoming increasingly difficult. People have to make ends meet, and yet they want to actualize themselves. So I want to actually give a shout out to anyone out there who's making a difference in your life, in spite of all the odds, doing life the way you envisioned it. At this point of time in this video, you've probably already experienced how these various points made out by ChatGPT, a system, is extremely true and prevalent in the society. So anyway, number 6, negative self-talk. Self-criticism and internal negativity erode confidence. If you look around, how many people discount themselves, discount their abilities, right? And then there's a lot of people having the victim mindset. When individuals view themselves a victim of a circumstance, they feel powerless to change their situation. And this last one is lack of curiosity and critical thinking. Most people these days turning to their phones in any moment of boredom or in any time there is a question. Before you can even spend the time to look within for an answer, people are already looking elsewhere. So what is your capability? Internet is a tool. Social media is a tool, but they are not everything. If you have to rely on tools like this, you have now just become a tool and you are no longer yourself. Or if an employer, a teacher, or a family member gave you a problem, that problem was given to you to resolve. If you in turn turn to the internet, like social media, you post on your wall, oh, how do I solve this problem? You ask ChatGPT. Why don't they instead give these problems to social media? They don't need you, right? So what is you? Step up your days. A lot of people in this day and age are in a daze. They don't know, they don't think. Therefore, what are they? Here's the good news. There's something that we can do about this, and I decided to ask ChatGPT, what are the countermeasures? What I saw here was a confirmation that everything I've been teaching on this channel so far is totally correct. So all the things that I've been practicing on Inspire and Random are totally in line with these countermeasures to stopping the Satan of society getting into our thoughts. Society is good and society can be bad. It's a conscious shift that we need to take on which aspects are we going to focus on, what empowers us and what discounts our inner capability. These are the points. Number 1, cultivate self-awareness. Practice mindfulness, switch off, take time to tune in to your inner voices, develop intuition. Everyone has intuition, but most people don't know how to tune into it. The ways to tune into yourself is simple. On my channel, I have a playlist of relaxation and meditation music. You can turn any of those tracks on. Just close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and pay attention to what thoughts come to mind. What things at the top of your head are the things needing your attention? This could be problems, dreams, visions that you have. Pay attention to them. Something that Steve Harvey, the comedian, ever said. These things, God specifically put them into your head and not into someone's head. Dreams are a preview of what is to come. So there are specific reasons why we are getting certain thoughts and not other people. You can tune into this with mindfulness. Second thing is journaling. Journaling is a huge part of it. I do journals on an almost daily basis. What I literally do is I put on some music, I just see what comes to my fingertips. Without self-censor or anything, just type. I would suggest typing over writing because typing happens at a faster speed. Or if you are so busy, what's even better is to just speak continuously for, say, 7 minutes. Why? Because we can speak faster than we can type. And then after you have spoken continuously for 7 minutes, listen to what you have spoken. What are some of the key points? And to keep you on a positive track, it's good to have some positive music playing in the background. Embrace courage and confidence. Take small steps toward growth. Start with small achievable goals to build self-confidence. The second thing is to reframe failures. Let's go with taking small steps. How society that is badly influenced likes to stall you from achieving your dreams. They will tell you things like, oh, that takes too long. That's too difficult. It's raining. But even if it takes too long, even if it's difficult, even if it's raining, all it takes is the first step. And when you realize it's not as difficult as what people say, the rain is kind of cooling and relaxing, and it's not that long. Once you try it, what is the next step? You know how to fix this issue. Reframe failure. If you know how to reframe failure, you realize that there are only lessons. If you choose not to learn from it, then, well, it's wasted time. So since you've had the agony of this experience, why not figure out what can be improved? By the way, most of the time when we try out new stuff, the first time's gotta be so sickening, right? Like learning how to walk or learning how to drive a car. How painful and frustrating and painstaking it was in the very beginning. But once you get the hang of it, it makes your life so much more convenient. Imagine if you had to crawl from place to place for your whole life, or imagine if you couldn't go to far places because you wouldn't want to drive a vehicle. That initial thing was just a new skill. As with new ways of doing things, new instruments, new tools, like I mentioned previously in this video, all these things should be supporting us and the way we live our life. They are our tools and not the other way around. Challenging limiting beliefs. When people tell you no, can't be done. Well, think of the Wright brothers. They invented the first aircraft. You go down history books, even talk about phones. These days they have phones that can fold out in 2 folds that become like a tablet, right? That wouldn't have been possible in the past. The way that we can program ourselves for success. And by the way, friends and relatives, they may notice that I tend to play music or affirmation tapes through my sleep. That's because I consciously brainwash myself for the things that I desire, for the dreams that I wish to achieve. If you have certain dreams that you want to attain, things that you do not see the immediate solution or the path of how you're going to get there, constantly take time every day to visualize this desired outcome that you have. Your subconscious mind will find ways to bridge the gap between your present and the future they desire to be. For all those things that you identify in yourself, in my previous video on Louise Hay and the mirror technique, I asked you to list out whatever comes to mind in regards to what are your blocks for this thing or that thing. As you have these blocks, you make corrective affirmations for them. You also affirm that you are in possession of, you are capable of the skills or the resources that you need to attain this goal. Number 5, stop comparing and focus on personal growth. Practice gratitude. If you watch my video on prayer, I talk about the importance of gratitude. Practice daily gratitude. To those who have, those who thank, more is given. For those who do not, whatever they have is taken away. So practice gratitude. Compete with yourself, not others. This is your race. How other people do it is different. There are different biochemistries, different psychologies, and it's not like you're going to do things other way in their body anyway, so focus on yours. Number 6, avoid overwhelm by managing time effectively. I talked about this, the importance of rest. A lot of people waste a lot of time trying to micromanage, to over-obsess about a problem. The best way is to just give it your best and rest the amount of rest that is required on a daily basis. Most people are resting way too little. So give yourself a solid 7-8 hours of sleep. Start your day early, visualize early in the morning, and live like a champion. Also says here, use time blocks. In my previous video, I talked about how I'm able to restructure all the activities that I do on a daily basis in such a way that it doesn't get into my life. Whether it's sports, entrepreneurship, family, I just need to shuffle things around. There is a way of getting everything done. Number 7, practice positive self-talk. This goes hand in hand to trying out stuff, taking baby steps, and encouraging yourself for the little bits of baby steps improvement that you're making. Success leads to more success. I'd like to share with you this post from Chris Choi, The Rich versus the Poor. Poor people are constantly living a fearful life, making choices based on fear and constantly searching for problems. Their primary mindset is, what if it doesn't work? The middle class is a little bit more hopeful. They will think, I hope this works. And the rich, they take responsibility for the results in their life. Their mindset is, it will work because I will make it work. Number 8, take responsibility for personal growth. Whatever good or bad that happens, it's all you. So if something good happened, thank yourself for making that happen. If you flopped on something, instead of searching for blame, understand how you are responsible for the situation. Responsibility is a huge teacher in life, because once you know that certain things are actually of your doing or how you have an influence on the result, even though there could be other people in the situation, maybe there are certain things that you overlooked that resulted in things turning out in a particular way. Most of the time, even in company situations. If you ever heard of people say, this is not an actual problem, but a human resource management problem, you have the power to fix it. Learn continuously, every moment that you have, instead of wasting it on the escape box, which is the TV. How about watching some edifying videos that teach you new knowledge and skills? Number 9, nurture critical thinking. When we go out to the malls, and I point out to my kids, look at these people queuing up on the leftmost lane. They didn't realize there are actually 2 lanes that they could take, but everyone is queuing on one. I train them to understand most people are just following. They don't critically think. By pointing out these things, I teach critical thinking. Seek diverse perspective. Expose yourself to different viewpoints and ideas. The reason why most people do well in a team versus an individual is because a team of people will be able to see things from different perspectives. People have different strengths and different capabilities and disadvantages. If you work with a team of people, if you're trying to accomplish a certain thing, you're much more likely to achieve a positive result because your combined ideas result in a much more complete solution. Yes, we are finally coming down to the last 2 points. Okay, number 10, create supportive environments. Surround yourself with positive influences. Build a community of supportive, growth-oriented people who encourage and inspire you to reach your potential. If you haven't already found such, there are things like meetup groups on the internet. Go for different meetups and you might just find a nice clique of people that are very different from your own and you feel that they take you to a higher level. Because success leads to more success. If there is a need for further development, you could get referrals from such people in the future as well. Limit exposure to negative media. This could be in a household, and I know it can be very difficult when you're living with other people, but we also have to thank science for its advancements because nowadays there are noise cancelling headphones. For example, even for me, I'm visiting a house or visiting parents, and maybe there are some TV programs that are going on that are full of noise and negativity. What I do is I play music. It could be on the computer. At least in my workspace, it helps to become like a white noise. It drowns out what I don't want to listen to and helps me to focus on the things I should be focusing on. Last and final point. Build resilience against external influences. Develop emotional intelligence. Growing up as a Singaporean, emotional intelligence is something that was a challenge for me. For me, it was quite stifling. We are often taught model answers to our exams, society, and the way we should live our life as well. Consciously take back all these energies from other places. Most of you who are watching this video gone on a few years of life outside of school already, you may be able to think and analyze for yourself. How has it been? If you've been just living on model answers, how has that affected you or helped you or disadvantaged you in your current life? Taking stock of all these things, you can now decide, what do I think would be a better way of doing this? Write that down. What do I think would be a better way of doing that? Whatever thing you're trying to fix or improve, just make a list of how are you currently doing it, what made you do it in this way, and what is a better way to do it. This would set you on your path. Then you want to set boundaries. Learn to say no to people or activities that drain energy or distract you from personal goals. This could be saying no to a certain clique of people that have been repeatedly letting you down. Could be saying no to partying. I actually gave up partying because when I had shingles and had more time to sleep, I woke up feeling fresh and younger. I felt that it was a small price to pay for the health that I gained. We've come to the end of all these points that ChatGPT has come up. You can try this out as well. I'll leave a link for ChatGPT for those of you who have never ever tried this. Some of you may even be thinking, hey, ChatGPT is like a young people's thing. I looked in my stats. Some of you who are watching my channel are in your 40s and your 50s. What's the harm? All you need is to just sign up for it. It's actually free. Give it a test. It's fun. Try it out. At least today, you not only learn from the contents of this video, you also learn how to operate ChatGPT. Isn't that great? Thank you. And if you'd like to watch more content, watch this video